Hello everyone, and welcome back to American Populace. And today I will be discussing the new Georgia voter ID law. But first, please remember to like and subscribe, as I greatly appreciate this. So the new Georgia voter ID law. Is this a game changer for Republicans? Save the state of Georgia? Or is this just the last gasp of Governor Brian Kemp to save his career after he failed to do anything about the fortification of the 2020 election? As we saw everything that happened, election night. So the new Georgia voter ID law. As we all know, the left is screeching and crying about this, calling it voter suppression, the new Jim Crow, Jim Eagle, as Joe Biden likes to call it. But what does this law really do? Well, this law just limits drop boxes and requires people to have a voter ID to cast ballots. Seems pretty common sense. And again, the left will say, oh, this is voter suppression. This disproportionately affects black people of color. Well, I would like to point out that Mexico and a bunch of other third world countries require their citizens to have government-issued IDs to vote. Yes, indeed they do. And it's pretty common sense why. Because mail-in voting is most susceptible to voter fraud and voter fortification, as we saw this last election. It also shortens early voting in runoff elections. Take that as you will. It also gives state lawmakers much more power governing the local elections. This is a good thing and prevents laws being changed last minute to benefit certain parties, as we saw in 2020. It also bans handing out of food and water at polling places. And people will say, oh, this is just petty. What does this do? Well, it prevents bribery because, again, this typically benefits one political party over another, the Democratic Party. And again, people shouldn't be bribed or pestered when they're at the polling place about to give their vote, obviously. That's just common sense. And again, the left will screech and cry about this, calling it voter suppression. But we all know that isn't true. But anyway, I'm going to be discussing the situation in Georgia. So this new law will likely do a little to help us in the 2022 election against Jon Ossoff, but the future for Georgia doesn't look too good due to the growth of the Atlanta area and the changing demographics of the state, which will turn Georgia into the next Virginia or Illinois. Pick your pick of those two blue states now that were formerly red states because of growth and trends in the suburbs. But again, this is just common sense, but I don't think this law goes farther enough. If we wanted to save the state of Georgia, I don't think it will do that. But it will be a quick stopgap, help us save Georgia for a couple, probably, of election cycles. But after that, Georgia will probably be a permanent blue state for a while. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like and subscribe. I'm American Populace.